Mother's Nature on. Is 40 ready for this smoke right now? What is this? Two Rabbies. Root this guy, roll away. Disengage. Crossbow Rabbies. I'll stun him on that route too. Full draw sniper shot on the melee boy. Little 2v1 situation. We'll bring it back though. The other guy left. Shout out to him. Recoil shot. Roll. Knock. Press my heal. Mark him. Triple Rabbies. 1, 2, 3. Big damage. Crossbow Rabbies. Roll. Big DPS. There we go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Come. Mark him. Triple Rabbies. 1, 2, 3. Root him. Big root. Stun him. Sniper shot. Oh, he's just going to die right here. Boom. Knock. Crossbow Rabbies. He's giving up. He's giving up completely. Roll away from that. Perfect roll. Ground fire. Disengage again. Oh, look at that double leap away. Two Rabbies. 1, 2, 3. Mark him. Roll this. Root him. Crossbow Rabbies. Disengage. Crossbow Rabbies. Recoil shot. This guy is absorbing some DPS. He's blocking. Disengage. Rabbies. Oh, it's looking very good. We're looking very far ahead of the melee players, chat. I'm not gonna lie. Two Rabbies. 1, 2, 3. Roll away from this. GG's, brother. YouTube, what is going on? I'm coming at you with the single target bow crossbow PvP/PvE build guide. This shit is fire. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy it. Full range, all bow, triple bow, long bow, double crossbow gameplay, man. Super good for the 1v1s, the 1vx's in PvP, the boss fights in PvE. It's fully focused around no AoE. Great movement. You have a stun, you have a root, you have a trinket, you have a ton of iframes with your nimble leap with the crossbow and your roll mechanic with the bow. Even your strafing ability slides you around. This build is everything I wanted in a build, and I'm dropping it on YouTube for you guys. First things first, I'm gonna go over the gear pieces I'm going for this build. Shout out to this guy on this website here. I really like the pieces he picked. He's running a bow crossbow build as well, but his build is a little different than mine, but I do like these pieces he's going for. These are all the pieces I'm going for, as well as the traits I'm going for in this game. I'll have this link in the description of the video, but honestly, this is all you need right here. If you want to look up any of these pieces, you can do it in game. If I want to see where the wolf tunic is or how to get it, I pull up my lithograph book. I type in wolf. There it is right there, right? Phantom wolf tunic. How do I get it? I click on it. The game tells me. I do this dungeon. This guy drops it. You run this dungeon until it drops. Very old school MMORPG vibes. I like it. The gear grind is lengthy. But there's my pieces. As far as my build and abilities go, here they are right here. Right now, I'm running the bow roll. You guys can't see that because of my webcam, but we are using the bow roll over the crossbow roll. I'm going to start with my passives because I'm worried I'm going to forget these, and I'm trying to one take this YouTube video, so bear with me. We're running Roxy's Arrowhead for the passives. We're running Eagle Vision, Ambidextry, Detection, Sniper Sense, Nature's Power, Piercing Strike, and Rapid Fire Stance. These are the best passives, I think, for this build. There's a lot of good passive effects. You guys can read through. I'm not going to explain how these work because it's pretty easy to understand. You just got to read through them here. My abilities, I will go over, though. My first ability I'm running, this is your big heavy hitter. This is Decisive Sniping. This is the ability I've been upgrading first. This is a full long draw sniper shot that does a lot of damage with the longbow. I very much like this ability, as well as your knock. This is an instant cast ability with your bow that does a lot of damage. Same thing with strafing. These are your big hitter damage abilities. Strafing, the way I'm running it with the side specialization, the skill specializations, I will show you in a second, but it lets you press it 3 times and you get stacks of gale, which lets you use knock. I'll go over that in a second, but this is a great ability for damage as well. This is your root and snaring arrow. This is really, really nice to set up with your trap. I like to root people for 4 seconds, and then I'll throw that trap on top of them to stun them. It's going to pretty much guarantee that stun, and that's basically when I'm casting that decisive sniping. I'll show you that in a second on like a mob or something, but that's pretty much the only time I'm using that in PvP is if they're stunned, because it's a pretty long cast, and I don't have stealth or anything like that with the bow crossbow build, but it does work really well with the stun gameplay, and it does more damage into a stun. I'll show you that in a second. Quick Fire is another one of your big abilities. This doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's constantly up the way your skill specializations work. Nimble Leap is a great secondary kind of dodge ability. It is an iframe. You are immune to CC during this, thanks to our skill specializations we'll go over in a second. Mana Exchange I'm running because you do run out of mana a lot with this build, because we are constantly running Nature's Protest with the lightning arrow. Just a lot of good passive bonus damage to have up at all times. Mana Exchange is good for getting a little bit of mana back if you're going on mana. Recoil Shot's an ability that will only be active after you use some kind of movement mechanic. With this build, it'll be anytime you nimble leap, you'll be able to recoil shot. Anytime you strafing, you'll be able to recoil shot. And anytime you dodge roll, you'll be able to recoil shot. Selfless Diffusion is my trinket. This is what I'm using to get out a hard CC. I'm pretty much only pressing this in PvP to remove a stun. You can press this pretty much whenever you want for more damage in PvE. Mortal Mark is a bonus mark for bonus base damage that has a chance to weaken the target. I'm typically pressing this before I'm pressing my strafing because my strafing does a ton of damage, being able to press it 3 times. So I typically like to Mortal Mark into a strafing, into a knock, and then I'm spamming my crossbow rapid fires and whatnot. We'll go over some more rotations in a second. And then we already showed Nature's Protest, good passive damage. For our masteries, for the crossbow, I'm not fully maxed out or geared yet. We're still on our way, but I'm going to take the crossbow all the way to Cold Vision and then all the way down on the bottom to Brutal Wound. So you'll max this out. You'll go to Cold Vision there. And then for the bow, it's going to be the same exact thing. I'm taking the bow down to Gale Arrowhead, and then I'm taking it all the way down to Brutal Shooter for that 10% critical damage. I'm going to try to force this as fast as I can because that 10% damage is massive. But leveling up your weapon mastery takes a while in this game. So there's all the abilities and the passives. Here's the skill specialization part of the build. This is where things get interesting at Throne of Liberty because we have a lot to play around with. Start with the crossbows. Quickfire, we have the minimum stack count changes to 4 attacks. So you're gonna do 4 attacks instead of 3 attacks. The cooldown is reduced. I did not go for the damage increase because I don't have enough of these green points to spend, but also because I don't like it being a longer cooldown. I like having that up often to press. Nimble Leap is an awesome ability. It's an extra dodge roll, essentially. I have it stacked up to 2 times for the charges. You're immune to CC when you're using this, so it's a great iframe ability. And also I have it so the cooldown resets your quickfire. So whenever you quickfire, it's pretty good to press that Nimble Leap. It's going to automatically reset your quickfire. You can press a steady shot as well too then, or a recoil shot, my apologies. So you can Nimble Leap and then it resets your quickfire. So you can do another recoil shot as well. I have nothing on recoil shot, nothing on Mortal Mark. Selfless Diffusion, you have to run the remove CC perk, so that way you can get out of those stuns from those melee boys. Nature's Protest, I'm going for the lightning arrow. Again, I keep this up pretty much 24/7. It does drain mana fast though, so be aware of that. I find in 1v1s and stuff though, you don't really run out of mana fast enough in these fights. PvP fights and whatnot, you do run out of mana quick, so be aware of that. And you do have mana exchange if you do need mana, but it's just really good passive damage to have up. Explosive Trap, I have the effect that now lets it stun for 3 seconds with an 80% chance. I also have it so I can be used at 100% attack range, so it doesn't just drop at your feet. You can throw it out farther, and like I said, you can do that route into the stun trap play to guarantee it in that big decisive sniper shot. And then the best part about decisive sniping is I did take the 25% damage when they're stunned. I'm pretty much only landing this in PvP when they're stunned for my trap, like I just said. And then I'm also running the max damage increase and max charge time increase with the charging time. Strafing is a big hitter ability here. I have it so it applies Gale. I also have it so it dashes me in a direction on the first use with mobility, and then I also have it so I can stack up the 2 charges of it. That lets me press it 3 times whenever it's up. It's very nice, very cool. And then I am running Zephyr's Knock with the Gale ability. Again, I'm typically pressing Strafing first to apply the Gale, and then I'm pressing Zephyr's Knock to consume the Gale for the bonus damage. And then that's all I'm running on the bow. I went over the crossbow abilities. I'm going to show you guys real quick what that combo's looking like. It's pretty basic, pretty easy. I wouldn't really try to land sniper shots in PvP outside of this combo. It's pretty tough without stealth. So I start with that nice little route. This is for PvP, of course. And then I throw the trap on top of it to guarantee the stun chance. They're stunned. You full cast it. It hits really hard because they're stunned. It's doing the bonus damage. You get the full draw, that lengthy ability. And that's pretty much the only time I'm using that in PvP because it is tricky to get off in PvP and 1v1s and stuff like that without a stealth mechanic since we're doing bow double crossbow. So that's how I like to line up the decisive sniping. Outside of that though, right, you have your Nature's Protest on, and you're just doing a buttload of damage with your strafing, with your mark, right? You can mark them. You can triple wrap you with the rapid fire, and like, I'm not even geared up, bro, but this shit rips for single target, man. It's crazy. And then again, your nimble shot will reset the cooldown of your quick fire. Strafing will also proc your recoil shot, so you can reset the cooldown. Recoil shot, right? You can roll the recoil shot. You can strafing, and it'll also proc your recoil shot. I like using that anytime I use a movement ability, but again, all this movement is so good for PvP. Having a trinket is super good for PvP. Having a stun, a root is super good for PvP. And then this build is really, really good, high damage for PvE as well in those boss fights and your dungeons and whatnot. You're going to do a lot of damage. It is a lot of buttons to press when you're fighting bosses. You have a lot of stuff coming off cooldown, right? You have your triple rappies you're pressing. You have your knock that you press after the Gale. You can disengage, you can recoil. You can disengage again to reset your rapid fire. You can even root and trap the mobs if you want to and go for that sniper setup like I was telling you guys. Big drawbacks, huge critical damage, right? They get nuked. Super fun build. Lots of buttons to press. All single target, all fully raged. Triple rappies with the Gale. I mean, look at this damage. It's just nuts. So many buttons to press. I love it. Full DPS, full single target, PvP, PvE, build/guide. I'm streaming this build on Twitch every night, 7:30 p.m. EST. Links in the description. If you like the video, please like the video. Please leave a comment. Please watch all of it. I love you guys. Please come say what's up on Twitch. And adios.
Where